we're back in the gym. I've had 2 days off since the Rogue Invitational, and my body's feeling back to normal. And so today we're going to be warming up, doing some L-sit holds and some monster walks. I'll also be doing some explosive work with some box jumps, and then we have our power cleans. And so today we're kicking it off with a power clean versus like a squat clean, or you know, a squat related. We're trying to, I guess, back off the percentages, and we're also just trying to fine tune and think about technique while we're slowly going to build over the next 6 weeks leading into the games, if they still happen. So today I'll be going no higher than 80%, and I'll be sticking around the 75 to 80% mark. That weight allows me to focus on my technique. It allows me to think about power, and it also really allows me to just fine-tune little bits and pieces that I think I need to either improve on, or you know, I just want to get that muscle memory happening again. So I've just had two rest days, and you know, obviously I feel on top of the world after winning a competition, but it's really interesting when you have to kind of get back into it. And I think that, you know, it can be very challenging if you either dive straight back into it, or if you have too much time off after a competition. Normally I would have at least a week off after a competition like this, but because the games is only, I think it's actually less than 6 weeks away, we really kind of have to get back into it and get back into training and kind of peaking at the games. So with this being said, a part of me is just like, oh man, you know, like I've literally just been spending the weeks and a couple months leading into Rogue, and you know, wanting to be at a particular fitness level for that, and now to have accomplished that and then get straight back into training again, it is definitely going to be a little bit challenging, because in your mind you think, oh man, I probably would like a little bit more rest, but in saying that as well, a part of me is like, I don't want to waste everything that I've just built from the Rogue Invitational. I want to keep that momentum going so that I'm going to be even stronger, even fitter when it comes to the games. So it's one of those things where you have to really try and juggle it both physically and mentally. Right now I feel very good. I am actually eager to get back into training, which is really good. And I think what has helped with that motivation is using the high coming off the Rogue, really enjoying the 2 days that I've had off, and then trying to just remind myself, hey, this is good, we need to do this. It's only going to be another 6 weeks until I get to rest again and have some really nice long quality breaks. And you know, when it comes to those days where it's really hard and you don't really want to go to training because you're tired or you're sore or you're just feeling a little flat, for me personally, I have to remind myself that it's those days that count, and it's because of those days that make me feel so much better at the games or at a competition. And you know, I live for the moments like the clean and jerk of 270. I live for those moments, and when those moments happen, it's reassurance that my hard work and those hard days are paying off, and it's worth it. I just finished my power cleans. Today, the points that I was trying to focus on was really driving through the legs rather than pulling too early with the arms and kind of jolting the lower back. So I was really trying to stay nice and rigid and then use the power from my legs in order to drive through the ground, bring the bar up so that it made contact on my quads nice and high. I don't want my bar contacting my quads too low, because it means that I'm just pulling, and as it gets heavier, it's going to be harder to get underneath it. So we want to get that bar as high off the ground as possible, on high up on the quads, so that I can come underneath it and I can catch it in a really nice solid catch position with fast elbows coming up underneath the bar. So that was what I was predominantly focusing on today, especially while it was nice and light. And then one thing that I wanted to point out, I didn't use my lifters, and so the reason being is I don't want to become reliant on my lifters. So when it comes to sometimes doing snatches or even cleans, and you know, today for example, I used just my regular trainers, Noble trainers, so it was keeping me nice and flat on the ground. And so when it comes to competition and workouts, when I do have heavy power cleans, I feel confident still in my trainers because it's something that I train and I'm used to. So like a perfect example would be in the games, there was a workout where it was increasing weight for power cleans and bar muscle ups, and you had to run and make transitions in between each lift. And so running in my lifters just didn't really make a lot of sense, and the bar started quite light, so you know, I didn't really need to have lifters because I wasn't lifting extremely heavy. So that was another thing that, you know, I chose to do today, and you know, I'd love to hear in the comments what your thoughts are on that. You know, play around with it, let me know if it's any different. But I hope that you were able to kind of enjoy watching this video and also understanding, you know, what I was focusing on. And it's very important, I can't reiterate this enough, it's very important that when you are lifting, you don't always have to lift heavy, you don't always have to max out. It's very important to dial it back, focus on technique, so that when it does come to those days and training sessions that you can max out, you are reverting back to quality and good technique, because the last thing we want to do is have people injuring themselves. So you also notice I did singles. I could have, because it was light enough, gone touch and go for 4 reps, but I wanted to focus, I wanted to slow it down and focus on my technique, focus on my drive, and really hone into each individual rep. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed my power clean session. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.